And this is the funny part. As much as I love old Nintendo, Mario can kick all rocks. I'm not a fan of Mario. I never liked his games.
Whoa, throw it down. Okay. Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri, and welcome to episode 128 of We the GamerCast. It comes to you on iTunes, Google Play, and Mother Loving YouTube every single Monday. Thank you for subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, and everything else you do, retweeting and all the sharing. It really means the world. Thank you guys for being here, and thanks to all of our patrons at patreon.com/makeusbetter, especially our platinum executive producer Corey Hicks, and all of our gentlemen executive producers. You know who you are: Nick Milicia, Joel Brooks, James Johnson, Dr. Doom, Jesse Armstrong, Glauco, Shaffer, David Ray, Mike Drummie, Aaron Doherty, Martini Jean, and our newest patron, Mr. Moody. Thank you so much, and coming in from I think from Joseph's Circle. Thank you so much for all the support, and we just keep moving and grooving. And welcome to February. You guys, there's going to be a bit of a theme here. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've really talked about this on Twitter, but it's Black History Month on We the Gamercast as well. It's also, I should say, that sounded weird. It's also Black History Month just everywhere else, not just on We the Gamercast, but this month we are going to have all our guests are going to be celebrating Black History Month, so we've got a whole bunch of people lined up ready to go. I'm so glad that everybody was up for this, and today we're going to talk to Devin Tyus from Play Some Video Games and all the 17 different shows that they've got over there, so we're going to get to him in just a second. And I want to thank everybody for supporting us on Patreon, speaking of that, because last week's show was brought to you by Patreon. We had John Wahl from the Megadads back, and it's all thanks to your guys' support. We hit that milestone. And the next milestone, by the way, is that when we have those returning guests come back, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We haven't done a live show in a little while. The Xbox Drive I'm doing on my drive to work, it's not live, it's a drive. This one, well, it's a live. That's for sure. And the Gaming Gurus this Sunday morning. So I want to get back to doing a live show. That would be fun. We typically do that during the evenings anyway, so we may as well. Those ones may look a little different if they're live. We may not even have like this intro kind of thing, because I try to keep those short anyways. So we'll see. So thank you everybody at patreon.com/makeusbetter. And oh my God, guys, if you're new, forgive me. Here's the deal. Every week I have sweet hangs with a stranger on the internet, and if you want to be on the show, it's easy. Just tweet at me. Sean Capri, Sean like Connery Capri, like the pants. I'm trying to, like, I find myself wanting to say something about, like, for you to be on the show. This month there's a particular requirement, and I'm just kind of like dancing around trying to not say something, and since I've been given some leeway by the guests so far, but we'll get into it when I talk to Devin. Man, this is gonna be a fun time, because like I don't know if you guys seen me on YouTube, like I am pink, like I don't know, it's I wanted to do this before, but I just didn't think of it in time. I thought of it like a week into February, and I think I mentioned that to Devin. Just before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout out to Nintendo Village. Gary Gray and Antonio Guillen and a bunch of others have started a new website, and it's everything Nintendo. It is such a great idea. This is what Gary was telling me about a few weeks ago, for you guys who remember. NintendoVillage.com is a place for podcasts and content and website, and articles. Please go check it out, and thank you, Gary, for telling me about it beforehand. Thank you for trusting me. I didn't tell a soul. I promise, I really didn't. But now I am, because it is time, everybody, to support that, and Gary has supported us since the beginning. So thank you to Gary, and Antonio Guillen, of course, the video designer on this show. I also want to thank people who reached out to me earlier last week. It was Bell Let's Talk. So in Canada, one of the mobile companies here, telecommunications, they also do TV. They have been leading the way for mental health conversation for many, many years, actually, with one day dedicated to raising money for it through social media and retweets and views and all these other things, and donating basically a nickel at a time. And that day is always connected very strongly with me. Obviously, for those of you who have been listening to me for a while, a friend of mine, that a friend of mine took his own life a few years ago. And that day always makes me think of him. And this year, oddly enough, this year it didn't. And I was trying to kind of come to grips with why. Like, I think I was thinking more about actually this show and all the people who have reached out to me with their stories and words of encouragement for my own journey as well. So this year was a little bit weird. I sort of caught myself. I think Chelsea and a few others reached out and said, I know this is a day you typically think about Justin. I'm like, I actually hadn't. So that was, I did some reflecting on that and just thought about how things like that change over time and with new context and with new situations and experiences. So I talked about it in a therapy session actually last week, and it was actually the very next day where I'm like, what does that mean? Like, why didn't I think about that? And I don't know, I feel like Justin has actually, I had this weird moment sitting there just blabbing on like I'm doing right now, and I had this weird moment where I sort of realized a sad reality in that my friend Justin, who took his own life, now plays a role in my own life as a cautionary tale. Because when I learned about his passing, his best friend and cousin called me and told me what had happened and actually painted a very real picture for what had happened. And I think it was that concrete example that I have painted in my mind that is the cautionary tale. And I had this realization that I was overcome with sadness that that's what he is now, that the role that Justin plays in my life is a warning. And I just realized at that moment, I'm like, I wish that wasn't the case. I wish he was here. He's so much more than that, that's for sure. But in some sort of angelic kind of watching over me kind of way, that's who he is now. And I feel him with me, especially on these types of days. This is very important for me to sort of like remind myself of what had happened for him and what happens for many people. And I reach out, I only mentioned this, we're going to get back to good stuff in just a second, but I did want to just, because I know a lot of people do reach out to me after these shows and they say they're going through stuff and they've been thinking a lot about what has been going on with them. And if you guys ever want to chat, my DMs are open, slide into those DMs, because his role in my life can be maybe a role in your lives as well, as a just don't talk to somebody. Be grateful for things that you have in your life. Honestly, guys, like that's the thing that's like really helped me. Every single day I am writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for and 3 things that I'm hopeful for that happened to other people. And it has like really helped to just help me carry on some positive momentum. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. That's really, this show has morphed really from just discovering what people's video games origins are to really kind of having some deep dives into our minds. So I hope that's okay. If not, you can always like skip these intro parts and we'll get right into the chat. My guest this week is Devin Tyus, and he is the first of many guests that will be celebrating Black History Month. You can follow him on the Twitter at DevATyus. Here he is, Devin Tyus.
What up?
Good morning. Oh, it's so smooth and sensual. I feel like I just kind of have to take it down a notch here a little bit. I'm usually all like, coffee! And Devin's like, hey, man.
Yeah.
How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been up since like 6. My son is a butthead, so.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened? We are sleep training right now. And by we, I mean she. I don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, he's been a little sick this week, and he wakes up. He's been waking up like his internal clock is like 5:50 a.m.
Sweet.
Yeah, and usually I can get him and put him on my chest, and he'll go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. Not today.
What was he? What? Man, what? So what do you do in that case? Because like I'm tempted to just try and grab a controller and see if I can sneak a game in or something. But I've also found that Lincoln really likes to grab. I play with the Xbox. We're gonna fight about this later, maybe. Gently fight. But I play with the Elite controller, and he has found that you can take the thumbsticks off.
Oh wow!
So he loves to just grab it. So like, there's no serious game. I played like one round of Call of Duty this morning, and like, no, that's not gonna happen. He's just like, I would like to make you aim straight up by pulling it down because I play inverted the way that God intended.
I mean, you put a stick in the back of my head and you pull it down, my head goes up.
Thank you. Okay. I saw on your PSVG, your profile or whatever you want to call it, you like to pick sides.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I thought that like today we'd kind of explore the sides of Devin Tyus because
we can do that.
Because I love this, and I also get the sense that it is like all in fun. I don't imagine that you fight to the death on any of these things, but maybe we'll try. Maybe we'll try and push it to the edge, Devin.
We'll see what happens.
Talk to me about Android because I hate Android.
You're picking your fights. All right, yeah. See, I'm a computer tech by trade, so I like to be able to tinker and customize and do all of that kind of stuff. Apple puts you in the box, and then if you jailbreak it, you get out the box. But then as soon as an update, they put you right back in. I like my phone to be mine. I like it to be personalized. I like it to have whatever I want on it. I don't want to be told what I can and cannot install.
So you can install. Okay, so here's the personalization that I get. People who are watching the video, I got a little kickstand on my case. That's enough for me, man. That's it. I've had, and I think I'm with you in a sense. Like the core of me wants that as well, but I want that in my computer. Like I like if I'm gonna tinker, I want like a good interface. I don't want to be messing around with like I'm trying to delete something and I'm pressing L or something, or I guess I just don't want to be fiddling around with my phone for that long, which is, I've tried it twice. Like I feel like most people just like, the vast majority of people buy into Apple and they don't even try Android and they just slam it just because that's how the console wars types of things work. I've legitimately tried it twice and I feel like my wife says, you got lemons. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like it's not a lemon if it happened twice. Like my phone would hang up on people or it would launch like YouTube in the middle of a phone call. And I just had a lot, and I had the Pixel.
Yeah, that's special.
The Pixel was the one where I'm like, okay, Google, if you guys are making your own phone, this is the real deal. And I was really taken by their presentation. Talk to me about this. You might notice I jump all over the place.
It's all good.
Can we talk about like these tech presentations? Like, are you into them as much as me? Because I go out of my way to watch them.
I try to watch them, but a lot of times, like they go into some stuff, I'm just like, I don't care about that, so I'm gonna zone off into this over here, and maybe I'll come back.
This is interesting. Like, okay, so where do you go into like forums and stuff because you need to know the things about Android to actually go in and do the things you want to do. Where do you get your information from? I
just Google it, and there is one Android forum. I can't remember the name of it because I haven't had to mess with stuff in a while. But there is one really, really good forum where you can pretty much find the answer to anything. If you want to root stuff, what are the good programs to actually throw on there if you root the phone so you can actually have master access, so all kind of stuff.
Oh man. Here's my number that reminded me too of my major problem with my Android phone was that it didn't connect to my car. It's like if you want to listen to your music in the car, Bluetooth was the only thing. I couldn't use the USB connector.
Oh wow.
So that was a big thing. Like,
see, that could be also just a manufacturer thing because it could be the car, it could be the phone. Because that's the other thing about Android. Like, no Android is the same. Like, your Pixel is going to be vastly different from my Note 8 because
there it is.
I have Samsung's TouchWiz. You have probably just stock Google's, just stock Android. So you have differences between each individual carrier. So, and that's why a lot of people like to root the phone so they can get rid of whatever the carrier put on there and then load, CyanogenMod or load just stock Android.
What is all that?
It's just different versions of Android. Like Android has versions and there's mods on top of those versions. So again, Android is extremely customizable, but you got to be okay to be able to break your phone.
So that's it. That's my problem.
Yeah, with me, my thing is like as a person who loves to take things apart, I'm okay with breaking it because then I took it apart. If I broke it, I'm gonna figure out how to put it back together. So that's where my love of Android is, because I can break it and I'm gonna be able to figure out how to put it back together eventually.
So do you play on PC at all? Like this sounds like a PC personality, but you're on PlayStation.
I used to play on PC, but it's expensive.
Right?
to really play on PC. I actually got extremely lucky and I won a GTX 1080 Ti.
Yes! Holy crap, dude!
Yeah. I won it from EA Star Wars. Their Twitter account had a little contest. I retweeted it. Boom, won the card. So now it's like, oh well, I have this bajillion-dollar card. Now I have to build a box to put it in. So I will be getting into the Master Race gaming at some point this year.
You could save up for the box to put in, or you could sell it for a year's worth of mortgage payments or car payments or something.
This is also
like it was the 1080 Ti, right? Like that's like the S, like that's the extra.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I'm really trying not to expletive here, but holy crap!
Yeah, trust me, I didn't believe it at first. I was like, "You're kidding, right? I didn't really win this."
Right, and then it shows up.
And then 2 weeks later, it's at my door. I'm like, "Oh my god, I really won this."
I'm officially on like a year-long plan of saving up for a video card. Like that's my life in PC gaming. Is like I see the one that I want. I'm like I can't justify it. That's like a full-on 4K TV. Like it's getting ridiculous, and it's to the point where like I want to make like my PC is okay, but I don't want to just like spend. I could spend like $400 or $500 Canadian dollars. Remind you, so this is like $50 American.
Yeah.
And I just don't think I'm gonna get like enough. But that's a lot of money not to get like very much improvement. So I really want to go for like a 1070, I think. But holy crap, man! Like I feel like they just went up in price too. I don't know what is going on.
It's the Bitcoin stuff. The Bitcoin mining is what drove the prices of graphics cards up, if you can even find them.
I'm sorry,
they sell out so fast.
Bitcoins drove up the prices of. Tell me about this economy.
You get people who basically build farms. They take like 30,000 graphics cards. I'm exaggerating, but they take a bunch of graphics cards and they put them into basically a farm, because the graphics cards do an excellent job of actually computing the algorithms to actually mine for Bitcoins. So once the Bitcoin miners found this out, they just started buying all the stock of all the graphics cards. So if you just Google it, just like Google Bitcoin farm, and you'll see people that have racks and racks and racks of graphics cards. So now, like, if you can find them, it's because there's somebody who's reselling them. So like if you look for a 1080 Ti, you're probably not going to be able to find one right now. And if you do see it, it's a reseller who's selling it for double, if not triple the cost, because you can't find them. Like Nvidia and a lot of the graphics card makers are like pleading with the retailers to try to only sell these to actual gaming consumers and not these data miners, these Bitcoin miners, because nobody's able to get graphics cards and the price of them have shot all the way up.
Well, and that's like an interesting position for them to be in, because it's like they say, please only sell these to consumers. Like I wonder what the long-term impact is on them, because in the short term, are they really that mad that these things are selling? Like they're just like somebody's buying. It's kind of like Nintendo going like, please only sell the consumers the amiibos, please. But at the same time, like we'll just keep shipping them out and just printing the money. So I'm so glad this is our stars aligning, Devin. Like I've wanted to have you on the show for so long, but like
awesome.
If I had you on before, you wouldn't be here to explain this problem. Like I've only recently come across this thing, and I wasn't sure if there was like a Black Friday, no pun intended. No, like I wasn't sure if there was like an end of year special. I just felt like graphics cards just didn't do that. And then I noticed them just going all over the place. It was kind of driving me nuts. So it's effing Bitcoin.
Yeah, ridiculous, right? I would have never expected it, and I was looking into like, why are these graphics cards so expensive? And then I dug a little deeper and found out, it's the Bitcoin mining, because they just compute the hell out of the algorithm. So you get a nice SLI configuration, and just mine the heck out of cards, and then you build a farm that just constantly does that. Yeah, there's a guy that I work with who actually bought two 1080 Ti's just to try and do that. Just to try and mine Bitcoins.
And like that's what's required. That's insane to me. So now you've got, okay, this reminds me, this 1080 Ti that you've won reminds me of when cell phones used to come out. I used to think that they were a silly gift, because if like a lot of people didn't have them, but if you got one as a gift, now all of a sudden you have this payment. I don't like gifts that require somebody to like pay more.
Right.
like a gift card for something that then they have to go and spend more. That's actually a bad example, because I think it takes a good chunk out of it. I'm trying to think of kind of like if you were to buy somebody like a flight somewhere, and then they got to go pay for the hotel, and then they got more expenses. So is this like that, where you go, this is great and all, but like I wasn't really anticipating now having to put together a PC, or were you already thinking PC?
It was actually, it was perfect timing, because I was actually putting together, I had an Amazon list of all the things that I wanted to actually buy like over the months, and that just took out like half the cost. I was like, oh well. Now I can do this even easier, and I get the graphics card that I want.
Oh, so, was it? That was the one you were going for?
I mean, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna build a PC, I'm like, I gotta go big or go home. So let's just go all the way out. It's gonna take a while, but let's just do that. That way, I can future-proof myself for at least 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, I don't want to burst your bubble or nothing, but I wanted to ask you, like, when was the last time you've done that? It's been, honestly, Devin, it's probably been like 20 years since I did that. Like, we went balls to the wall a couple decades ago now, and then it's just like all of a sudden you just watch that. Like, at the time, $750 was the top of the line. I've said this before, but do you remember 3DFX?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a Voodoo card.
Yeah, man, a monster Voodoo 2. Oh, that's the stuff. I think it had 12 megabytes of RAM.
Oh my god,
good stuff. So that was my big purchase, so that I could play. I eventually got a good enough sound card, but when I first got that one, I'm like, yes, I can run Unreal. With the sound off. Because my PC couldn't handle the sound processing, man. Like, that's what we were dealing with.
I remember that. Yeah, I definitely built a computer to play Unreal Tournament as well. And then the last one that I built was actually probably about maybe 7 years ago. It was a Core 2 Duo system. I worked at Best Buy, so we could always get pretty good deals. There was an Intel site where, as long as you took the quizzes and tests every year, they would sell like one of their top of the line motherboards and processors or whatnot. So I built a machine out of that. But I mean, that was 7 years ago, so it is absolute crap at this point.
Is that the same one you have running now?
No, actually, I gave that to my mom. I actually don't even have a PC. I just have a bunch of laptops.
Nice, man. Is that where we're on right now? Am I on a laptop?
I'm on my laptop. Yeah, it's actually my work laptop. It's actually quite nice.
That works.
It doesn't have a great graphics card, but it's got a really good i7. It's got a good amount of RAM. It's got an M2 SSD. So yeah, it's not bad.
I put in an SSD drive in my dad's laptop because I'm always the person going over to fix it. And so, like, I was always getting frustrated with anytime I'd fix up his email or anything like that. So you're sitting there waiting for it to boot up. I'm like, this is a good laptop. Like, it is similar to yours, like just without the SSD. Like, i7, really good amount of RAM, everything looks good, and it just takes forever to boot up. So I volunteered to. Well, I actually got him an SSD for his birthday. He's like, let me just tell me what I need, and I'll upgrade. It's probably a classic kind of situation with most guys and their dads. So I volunteered to fix this up, and like, I don't know what he had installed on there or whatever. Like, Windows just would not copy over to, like, I couldn't clone the drive. First of all, I couldn't even get the thing open. I've done this. I've probably replaced the SSD drive on probably 3 or 4 laptops in the last year and a half or so, just my wife's and mine and stuff. So like, I think I know what I'm doing. Which I went into it going like, I know what I'm doing, but now I'm like, I don't think I know anything, and I had to get like these special tools to open it up. It was like a 2-week ordeal. It was I don't want to do that ever again.
What kind of laptop was it?
It was an Asus.
That's surprising. Usually Dell are the ones that you're like, you got to get special tools because they do some weird stuff, some weird proprietary design that makes things really difficult to take apart.
See, it's just my world is backwards because I have a Dell, and it was so easy. I did it within a day. Like, that's the thing that I love about upgrading an SSD drive. I'm like, this is the easiest, cheapest, most beneficial upgrade, I think, that you can do, like, especially for laptops. I'm excited for you to get into PC gaming again, man.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I actually, it's funny, this laptop actually runs Destiny 2.
What?
I can actually get a decent frame rate. I can get about 50 frames, and it's just a basic card, and it runs. I was shocked. So yeah, that once I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to get back into PC gaming for all the third-party stuff like Assassin's Creed and Shadow of Mordor. I'm like, oh, and I got this great graphics card. Yeah, we're gonna go the third-party route on the PC, and then just keep the box for the exclusives because, man, PC gaming is glorious.
There's
you
also,
have the right stuff.
it's nice too. The store, I think, that just the shopping experience on PC. Like I said, mine is capable enough. I just don't really like. I will maybe finish here, and then I'll edit the podcast, and then maybe fire up something like Her Story or something like that. I could play here, but I'm so much more comfortable on my couch. But I really want to get back into it. And a lot of it has to do with Steam. To be honest with you, the fact that you just like fire that thing up, and it's like everything is always on sale, which is like that's my
everything,
jam, right?
Ugh.
I just kind of
drives me nuts.
Feel like we could make a podcast right now. Just like you want to just scroll through and just kind of see what Steam got in store for us today.
It's insane the amount of things that go on sale and how deep the discounts are on Steam. I'm just like, why do I play on a console again? I'm like, oh yeah, because PC gaming is so expensive. That's why.
Right. That's like walk in the door that costs you $1,500. I don't even know $1,000 for a graphics card.
Exactly. And I mean, you can get away with less, but it's like, well, then I got to upgrade again in a year. So,
yeah, that's another year, and maybe that's just the way people make it work. Like I get it, and I'm aiming for this 1070. But if this Bitcoin thing keeps getting out of hand, then I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to end up happening, and it might end up just you can save forever, and eventually you do want to kind of pull the trigger. Luckily, I think the X is going to carry me over. This is where we're just going to agree to disagree. I'm loving my X, man.
I have no problems with the X. For me, it's just that there aren't enough exclusives on that box that I want to play to get me to buy an Xbox. Like, I don't really have anything against the Xbox. I think the Xbox One X is a great system. I think that, I wish they would have either stuck with their original marketing plan for the Xbox One or never even said a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be better.
But I have no issue with Xbox. I like talking a lot of trash. I'm not going to get one because, again, there's no games that I want to play. Their exclusives are just they're lacking. And like the ones that I do want to play, they cancel. Like Scalebound. I was like,
did you really want to play that?
Yes, I love games like that. I was like, I would have played Scalebound. That may have been the one to get me in. And then I could finally play like all the Halos and the Gears of Wars and all of that stuff to get that. I mean, the Game Pass and just play all the backward stuff, all the old stuff that I missed. But they canceled that, and I'm just like, why are they doing that? And then Crackdown takes forever, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then Sea of Thieves was going to be on PC, so why buy an Xbox? I don't know.
That's a good point, and it's funny because like I don't think that I just heard so much like so many people making fun of Scalebound. Then I'm always surprised to hear somebody legitimately go, no, I actually wanted that. Because I always thought like just the way that the internet is, you have like a game that's announced, the internet makes fun of it, a game is canceled, and everybody's like, you guys are idiots. And it's like, for me, it's the same voices, but probably not. Like it has to be, otherwise the entire world is made up of a bunch of hypocrites, and I'm the only sane person, which God knows that's not true. So like for me, like for the next little while, I think similar to you with PC gaming, Xbox is going to be my third party system, and like that's actually a benefit to, or a bit of a call out to PlayStation, where it can legit, and PS3 was the same, man. Like for me, I just enjoyed being on Xbox more. They have enough exclusives where I'm like, it justifies the purchase. Right. And then for so many other people, it's like, well, if I'm already there for exclusives, I might as well stick around for all the third parties. So like I get it. I'm excited for you to get to the PC game. What else do you need to build this thing? Like what else did you have? What's on your Amazon list?
Oh, everything. All the rest of the pieces.
What kind of power are you talking?
We're going big. I'm gonna go with the i7, the latest one. What is it? The K8700 or 8700K. So the ones you can overclock. Gonna get 16 gigs of the Corsair RAM that actually has like the LED lights or whatever. Gonna get a really nice Corsair case that's tempered glass with a bunch of lighted fans and stuff.
Do you have it above? Mine's sitting on the ground. Like I could see inside it, but I could put lights in there, but it's on
when I built mine,
this thing's on display.
So it's going to be sitting on the desk. You're going to see this thing. It's going to light up the room.
You know how they have like the stickers you can put on the box to say like Intel inside, and they've got like whatever little stickers. You should have like big signs outside of your house. Like GeForce inside.
Advertisement. GeForce lives here.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be the new thing. Yeah, NVIDIA, you can have that one for free. I'm sure people would have no problem letting the entire world. Cool, man. So what are you playing these days?
So playing right now. So we're gonna take it down a notch.
Oh.
My mother-in-law passed away. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she was fighting that. So for the last 3 months, I've played nothing.
Oh, 3 months.
Yeah, it's been rough. Like I've been in
I'm
and
so
out
sorry.
of games here and there. Like I've decided what I'm gonna do this year is just break through my backlog because I have so many games that I have yet to get through.
Let's get to
So
it.
we started off January Diablo 3 because
Ooh.
yeah, unfortunately that game came out close to the time that Destiny came out, and that's where my backlog begins because I played way too much D1 and just kept buying games and I have not played them. So we started with Diablo 3. So I'm almost done with that. I'll
And you're
finish
just
that
running
up.
through solo, like.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And do you have any, like, I want to just go back and play with more people because I feel like that's like a Ultimate Alliance type of experience. Although most people say Ultimate Alliance is like Diablo, but like get together, man. Like you just go kill stuff and rack on buttons and
Absolutely.
collect stuff and loot stuff. That Diablo is a stellar game, especially on console.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. Oh my god, it feels so good on console. Like the way they did the controls, just like this feels natural. Like this feels like this is the way it was meant to be played.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy because Diablo was never good on console beforehand. Like when it was on PlayStation, it was awful. But yeah, I do have people in my Destiny clan that actually I've played Diablo with them. So we're gonna jump back into that at some point and play together and just run through and kill stuff.
Every time you have a game like that where somebody says, "I've been playing this," and you're like, "Oh, I really just want to get back to that," or "I miss that," or I've been meaning to get to that," or something. Maybe that's like all of our games in our backlog.
Yeah, really. Like, oh yeah, man, I've had that for a year now, and I just haven't cracked the plastic on it. I've been meaning to get there. That is the story of my life. I have so many games I just haven't cracked open.
We need to start like we already sort of have like this indie podcast network kind of going. We're all kind of in this like the similar level. We need to like create our identity and that none of us are ever going to try and play a new game. Let's just all give up on that. Like I've talked to enough people where we think like this is a problem. We're all like stressing out, losing our hair. Although I think you and I are okay. I think we're probably good for I think we're just going to be there for a while. We're all losing our minds trying to keep up. It's like, how about we play 2017 games? We can play them all for $150.
Right.
And then just be on our
Real
way.
talk.
Yeah, man. Well, Diablo 3 is now going on a couple years old, but that's probably one of the most recent timeless classics, I think.
Yeah, it holds up, and they keep adding stuff to it, like with the seasons and everything. So it's one of those. It's timeless. Like you can jump into Diablo anytime, and it's still fun.
Did you ever play any of the old ones on PC back when you were?
I did play the original Diablo. I didn't play Diablo 2, but I played the original Diablo. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, this is what PC gaming is. Oh my god, I've been missing out the whole time.
Can I ask how old you are?
I am 36. I'll be 37 in April.
So we're pretty close, and I think that those extra. I'll be 34 in July. And I think that so it's like you and my brother are like kind of like the same. And he would have been into Diablo. He would have been just old enough. And for me, it was I was too scared of it. It was called Diablo. Like devil means devil, creepy. And like I was reading about it in PC Gamer and stuff like that, and going like, I don't know what those little balls are on each side. Like I don't understand. Like there was something about it that just kind of pushed me away, and it was a all-time regret because I didn't really understand like what Blizzard was up to back then. I knew Warcraft, I knew StarCraft and everything, but I didn't really know that if all I did was play Blizzard games, I would have been the happiest gamer.
Oh my god, they got the sauce. They got the secret
and they always
sauce.
have. That's the crazy part. And like now that games have sort of exploded the way that they have, of course, like they're front and center of the whole thing.
Yep.
So I saw that like way back when, like you've kind of come up with all of the consoles. You dabbled into PC a little bit as well. You started with NES and Genesis and stuff like that. You weren't picking sides back then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I absolutely was. I was a Nintendo kid. I had a Genesis, but I didn't get the Genesis till way later. But you best believe, like when people run around saying Sega, I'm like, nah, bruh, you tripping. It's all about the Nintendo.
Did you say it like that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like probably.
What kind of crowd were you surrounded? Were you surrounded with a bunch of geeks too, or?
It was a little bit of both. Like, because I've always been big into sports. I played basketball. I played football. Like in high school and before that, like I grew up playing sports. So I had like the jock crowd, and then I had like the nerd crowd because my mom is a huge like sci-fi fantasy nerd. Like she had me
way.
Oh yeah, she had me reading Lord of the Rings when I was like probably in like the second or third grade.
Holy crap, that's like super advanced.
Yeah, she introduced me into Star Wars and everything. So
Yeah.
my mom is just like super sci-fi. So I've always had that nerdy side of me because my mom is like that. But yeah, I had a crew that I played video games with, and we got into the nerdy stuff. And back in the day when you didn't have the internet and it was like Nintendo Power, and
Yeah,
you have
man.
like the playground talk, like, did you do this? Oh man, I did this, and you're like, you didn't do that. That's a lie. That's not real. You're lying. Shenlong doesn't exist. Stop it.
So funny. And the best thing is, like, do you think now, like, how old are your kids?
Kids are 2 and 6.
Okay, so they haven't. Well, 6 is coming up,
Yeah,
like grade 1 kind of thing.
yeah, she's in the first grade.
Is she playing games?
She wants to.
Okay.
She has. We've played. I have the Super Nintendo Classic. I have the NES Classic. The NES Classic. Those games are just way too hard for her. And it reminds me that yes, Nintendo, man. If you came up in that era, like you know how to play games because them games were unforgiving.
Yep.
But she's played the Super Nintendo a bit. She's starting to get like the hand-eye coordination to actually be able to play games. Like watching her play Super Mario is frustrating because she hasn't quite figured out how to run and jump, and you're just like, you just jump, and she just runs right into the enemy. I'm
You
like,
find your like body kind of like getting into it as well. Like you're kind of just
yeah. I'm like, just you. Try again, bub. It's okay. You got to try again.
That's the most patient, like the most trying time as a parent, right? Watching your kid play video. Nothing else. Everything else is super easy.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember having this much difficulty. I'm so confused.
That would be interesting to have a flashback moment. Go like, no, man, you sucked.
Yeah, I'm like trying to remember, like, because I remember getting Mario, and this is the funny part. As much as I love old Nintendo, Mario can kick all rocks. I'm not a fan of Mario. I never liked his games.
Whoa, throw it down. Okay.
Yeah. So like when I got my NES, like Mario got put to the side, and I was playing Metroid instead. I was like, Mama, want Metroid. This game is hard as balls. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't get anywhere, but it was better than Mario for me. I'm like, I don't really want to run and jump and platform. I'm like, I want to go explore.
Even then.
Yeah. Even then, like even with the Super
getting
Nintendo.
there. People are gonna hate me for this. I just fired up Odyssey a second ago, and I'm like, I just don't know if this is what I want in my life.
Yeah. I came to the conclusion that I was done with Mario, probably after Super Mario World. Like when I got my Super Nintendo, I got the control set because I did not want Mario. So I got the control set and Street Fighter 2.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, but yeah, she wants to.
I didn't. So I was like, my parents had 4 kids. Only my dad worked broke as hell. We blame no consoles on my brother because his heart rate went up whenever he played video games. So I don't even know what you're talking. What's the control set?
So the control set was this. It was just the Super Nintendo and one controller. It didn't come with the game. It was a little bit cheaper. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and finagle this. Like, look, it's a little bit cheaper, so get me this game because Nintendo carts were expensive. I think Street Fighter 2 was like $70 when it came out. So I was able to get them to get me the control set. Got Street Fighter, and then had a little bit of extra money. So the next day, I was able to go to the mom and pop store around the corner and buy the second controller so I could kick my sister's butt in Street Fighter all day.
Was this your money? Like, were you earning like allowance or something, or like what money? Whose money are you talking about?
Well, that was a Christmas gift. The Super Nintendo was a Christmas gift, but the controller was money that I had saved up just in case I got the Super Nintendo control set, so I could get the second controller so my sister could play.
How were you earning money back then?
I don't even remember.
Just like knocking out your teeth, just like, please, tooth fairy.
I used to always have like a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. I would save them up, go buy G.I. Joes or something, go buy a game. Like I don't even remember how I got the money. I guess it's just birthday money or somebody gave me some money for cleaning up, and I would just save it until I had enough to get, my G.I. Joe or whatever.
We, like, if I found, like, or was given, like, a $5, $10 bill, it was just, like, this coveted thing. Like, I was just, like, I would just, like, stare at it, like, this obsession. And I became very frugal. And I think probably most kids are. Like, you just have, like, I just had, like, a stash of, like, coins. My dad got me, like, this tower that would fill up, like, we have loonies. This is so stupid. Like our dollar coin is called a loonie, so you'd have like a big tower there, and then we have quarters and nickels and everything else. But like it would show you that if like you filled it to this level, that would be $50. And I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
$50, like that. I don't know, like that was never really their intent. I think they just didn't want me to put all my change in a bucket, which is which is what I was doing for a little while. And yeah, I remember. I don't know how old I would have been. Probably too old for this. I should have been smarter. But I was so enthralled with the Mortal Kombat soundtrack that I went to store is totally shut down now. I brought my change to buy the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. I spent $18 in change.
Man,
That's so. But I wanted, the whole point of this rambling is I wanted to talk a little bit about kids and like kids are little business people. Like kids are so impressive that they know, like you knew to talk about the controller set. Because it was a little less. Like, you knew that was a key point in you actually getting that thing.
Absolutely. And my daughter is the same way. Oh, my gosh. She will sit there and negotiate with you to get stuff. I'm just like, how do you even know how to try to negotiate and manipulate? And she was doing this at a young age, at like 2, 3. She'd be like, but Daddy, how about we do this and then we can get this? I'm like, why are you trying to manipulate me? You are 2. Stop it.
All they're doing is sitting there thinking, scheming.
Like how? How are you scheming already? Like, stop it.
They don't have to worry about work or putting a roof over the head or what's for dinner or anything like that. They're just scheming.
Yep. They know how to do it. It's crazy. I'm just like, man, you already taking me for all my money already? Like, come on, baby girl, stop it.
Did she have you wrapped around her finger?
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Absolutely.
From day one?
And yeah, from day one. And so does my son. Oh my God. Like, I'm a little more like tough with him because I can like toss him around.
Yep.
But like, he is a total like daddy's boy. Like, he just runs to me and like, he definitely, Daddy, please.
Oh,
please,
no.
more, please, more. I'm just like, all right, fine.
Was that sign language? Was that
a sucker? Yeah, we taught them sign language when they were younger so they could ask for milk or more or eat. Yep. So just little stuff like that to help them communicate when they can't talk. And it worked. Like, he still does it. Like, he's 2 and he'll still be like, more please. More please. Like, he'll still do it.
I love that. How? Because like we're trying the same, and my wife took a couple of courses actually before we were even thinking about getting pregnant, just because she was fascinated with sign language, and then she learned as well from a colleague of ours because her parents are both deaf, so she ended up teaching her kids sign language, just almost like not even really trying it, just because sign language was so natural. She was always speaking, and then this kid's picking it up and wants milk. I think, is that like a cow
milk,
kind of thing? Yep. So yeah, I think that's so how like consistent did you, because we're worried we're not being like that consistent.
We did it all the time. Anytime that they would cry like, do you want milk? And they would make a wine more. And so we would constantly do that to the point where it's like clockwork. When my daughter was young and she couldn't speak, when she would want milk or more, she would use her sign language. Wow. And my son does it too to this day. So we were very consistent with it because it just helps them communicate, and you get less crying and tantrums because they can tell you what they want. Where
did you learn about that?
My wife, she actually took a couple of sign language courses because at CSUN, the school we went to, Cal State Northridge, it's one of the biggest, like, largest deaf centers in the country.
Wow.
So she took a couple of classes like that. She's also a child development major, so that's what she got her undergrad in. So it was something that she had learned, like, through that. She was like, yeah, when they're babies, you want to teach them sign languages because they can pick that up before they can talk.
Yeah,
like they understand what they want.
Coordinate their mouths and their tongues actually like speak.
Yeah, so that was just all her. She knew it, and she was like, this is what we're going to do. I was like, all right, fine with me.
Is that...
If it'll get them to stop yelling at me and they can tell me what they want and I can understand it instead of trying to figure it out, it works for me.
I mean, that's probably something we should all work on as we grow older as well, because sometimes just like, God, I want stuff, I can't even tell you what it is, but I'm frustrated. Is that sort of a common... Like, Chelsea knows everything, and she has surrounded herself with great moms and teachers and like similar to your wife, actually. Is that like, I follow her lead 1,000%, man. Like, whatever she says, I'm like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
That sounds good to me. Makes sense. Baby led weaning, never heard of it, but sure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I just followed her lead for the most part. With the second one, it was a lot easier. I didn't have to follow her lead as much because we had been through this. So, but yeah, absolutely. Like, she's the researcher, man. She'll go out and she'll gather all the information, and then we'll do it together.
What's this? Okay, so speaking of your wife, you guys launched a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
In the summertime, was it?
Yeah, it was last summer we launched a Kickstarter because we also worked at a camp for a long time. She was I was a camp director. She was like the office manager, and she was also a director. And it was just something that we came to value, just like the joy of summer camp for kids and how transformative summertime can be for children, especially at a young age.
Yeah.
And it was just something that we loved. And when we moved out to Bakersfield, late like October 2016. No, I'm sorry, August 2016. And then once it got to summertime, we were trying to find something for my daughter to actually like go to summer camp, because the year previously she went to the summer camp that we had worked at previously. And she loved it. It was an amazing summer. She had an amazing time. She still talks about it from time to time. But once we got out here in Bakersfield, we could not find like a day camp, like an all day camp where you could drop your kids off early because, you know, mom, dad got to go to work. We could not find that. And we realized that it was like a serious need in this area. So we launched a Kickstarter so we could be able to provide that. And it was something that's always been like big for us. Like we loved it. We enjoyed working there. But unfortunately, since it's just the summertime, it's not something you can do all year and actually survive unless you're running the camp. And so we decided, like, let's launch this Kickstarter to give this to this community who doesn't have that. So we were actually able to get the Kickstarter funded, but then all the stuff happened with her mom. So it's kind of on hold right now.
Gotcha.
So it's still definitely something that we're going to be working towards and getting that all completed out. But it's just kind of on hold, just dealing with all the family stuff that just kind of we weren't expecting.
Yeah, no kidding. So it's Evergreen Summer Day Camp. Is that what it was called? And like I was shocked to see like just the tremendous support that you guys got. Like this isn't a small Kickstarter, man. Like I feel like you're kind of downplaying this a little bit, and like it was something that like we kind of wanted to have. It's a big deal. You guys almost raised $10,000 for this thing.
We were shocked. Like my wife was so worried that we weren't going to be able to make it. She's like, "We're not going to make it. Let's just cancel. I'm like, "No, babe. Like we got to stick this out and just get to the end." And we made it, and we were just over the moon about it. Like we were just so taken aback by the support we got, how many people reached out and were like, yeah, we're here for this. We want to help you. We want to be involved. Like just the amount of support we got was it was mind blowing. Like it was really amazing to actually be able to hit that goal and be like, man, people want this. This is a thing. And they're willing to help us out and work with us. So it was awesome.
That like really just genuinely warms my heart. Like we talk about games and whatever else. And it's like, that's all cool and stuff. But like, this is something that's so unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this before. Like is it just you guys? Is it family? Like what was the outreach like? Like how did you? It was
just us. I mean, we just reached out to everybody we could and it was like, look, just tell 2 people. And then those people will tell 2 people. So it was just like one of those type of things where let's just try to get the word out and just give what you can. If you can. If you see the value in this, then help us out.
I love that.
So it was just one of those things where we just reached out to all of our social media platforms and word of mouth and send people texts, and we had a team, like we have like a little coordinate like group of friends that are really just extended family as far as I'm concerned. And they went to work for us as well. It's like, all right, let's get the word out. So
love that.
It was definitely a group effort.
What was part of is it still active? Can people still contribute to it?
I don't think so. Like once you hit the goal, I don't think you can still take contributions. I think maybe you can. We haven't set that up though. We haven't set up the future funding just because, like, again, it's just kind of on a hold right now. But yeah, I think there is a way to set up if people still want to contribute. I believe there is a way for that, and in the next coming month or two, we're definitely going to go hard back into that, just balls to the wall. All right, let's get back into.
Let me know, please. Let me know. I am so taken by this whole thing. What were some of the like for Kickstarter? Often you'll see at various levels you get certain things. Like was that part of it, or because
we did,
there were certain
we did
incentives.
do like the little goals or whatnot. So yeah, like I think like 25. If you donate 25, you got like a bumper sticker or something, or a card from like a thank you card from like the kids.
That's nice.
We did bumper stickers. We did T-shirts. We are gonna plant trees for people who gave to a certain amount. We would plant a tree on the campus of where we're gonna have the summer camp. There was a bunch of other stuff I can't even remember but we definitely did have all the different like levels of where you donated, you would be able to get this thing. Shout outs for the website, shout outs in the brochure, a founders page, stuff like that.
That's really smart. And I love it's like the way that you started describing it just is what really hit me, was that like summertime is so formative for kids, and like people, like the kids remember that their whole lives. I remember summer so vividly. Like it was just you look forward to it for 10 months months until finally June hits and like it's done and you get to just go outside and play with friends and have Nerf wars and stuff like that and water fights and stuff. And then if you have like this dedicated camp, I used to be in like beavers and scouts and stuff, and that was just so much fun. That's about as nerdy as it gets too. I like just go ahead and say that is some nerdy, like just go build fires with a bunch of other kids and stuff. But it was just, it didn't matter almost like what you were doing. It was just the fact that you were there with other people, and like parents and adults kind of took the time out of their very busy schedules to make sure that the kids had a really good experience. That just that's inspiring, man. I want to like go. I don't even know what Lincoln wants to do right now. He's just like, he kind of just rolls around. He doesn't really. He can stand, but then he'll just kind of like look at you and give me this little like asshole smile and just kind of like plop down. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, just wait till they start grabbing like the edges and like
Look
sliding
at all this stuff,
along
man.
things.
This is a disaster waiting to happen behind me. Like
absolutely. So when my daughter. Oh my God! When my daughter was, I want to say 1.5, 2, and she was, I'll say 1 because she was actually walking like right at 1. And then she learned how to climb stairs. Ooh. I had a loft where I had basically a shelf just like that. She would go up there and just start pulling everything off the shelves. And it was just like the most fun thing in the world for her to do. So I had to barricade the stairs, like, you can't go up here. And she would find ways to get the stuff out of the way, get up there and just start taking stuff down. Like, oh, Hunter, no, stop it.
I love that name. I feel like I'm going to be running around like a character in Fortnite. Like, I'll just be like pulling out my like paper and just like wanting to build things like instantly, just walls and stuff, just to try and barricade them in or out.
It is the truth. My son, oh my God, he's like a little engineer. He finds ways to get everything.
Yeah.
Like when he was probably like 6 months, he figured out how to take his bottle apart. So he would push the nipple down into the bottle, twist the top off, and then pour the milk out, and then try to put it back together. I'm just like, really? That's how you feel? That's how you feel, Hudson? You want to take everything apart? And he does it now. Like, he'll just take things apart all the time.
Hudson and Hunter. I love those names, man.
All the wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she wanted to name our daughter Hunter from jump. It was actually a summer camp thing. There was a little girl that walked in the office. Her name was Hunter, and that just stuck with my wife. She was like, we're naming our daughter Hunter. I'm not taking no for an answer. It is what it is. And then with my son, her and like one of her best work friends basically put down a list of names and were like, you can pick from this list. So at least I got to pick. But, I mean, they basically chose the names. Like, you can choose one of these names.
That's hilarious. We have, and they both follow our rules. So Chelsea and I have 2 rules. The first one is that the name cannot have more than 2 syllables. I didn't want to be screaming. Actually, Penelope was close. If we had a girl, Penelope was and they're all Lost names. If the character was in Lost, there was a good chance it would be picked. Like Jack was up there, man. I'm telling you. And also Miles was up there for when we found out we were having a boil. Miles was there, and then we realized that names that end in S are confusing for people. They don't know what to do when it's like it's Miles's birthday party, or this is Miles, like the possessive, the apostrophe.
Is it apostrophe S? Is it S apostrophe after, before? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had a conversation about it. I'm like, no, it's just an apostrophe after. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I think so. And she's like, see, I'm like, that was the entire conversation. So then we end up with these 2 rules, 2 syllables, which actually comes from our dogs, where we realized we don't want to call after Budweiser and Kokanee. Do you guys have Kokanee?
Who?
Kokanee? Do you have Kokanee beer? Is that a Canadian thing? I don't know.
It must be. I've never heard of that one. I'd try it.
I want to talk about PSVG before we round out the hour, because I think you and I feel like we've been in like the same like internet sphere since Married to the Games.
Yeah.
Is that
since MTG? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Were you on the forums? So like I've had Chris McCrackin on, I've had Nathan on, everybody. So like, is that the origin truly of like
that is the origin, I think, of all of it.
Isn't that insane?
It's crazy. And the funny part is I can't even remember how I found Married to the Games. I just know that I found it. I never left. I can't remember what I was searching for or how I found that podcast. So once I did and I found the forums, it was a wrap.
Are you still? So you're still listening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, me too.
I'm trying to go to 300.
Are you? Oh, that would be amazing. I'm working on that with Chelsea.
Me and Coach Mo, we're trying to go so we can record the OT live at 300.
Let's talk about that a little bit. How's that going?
It's fun.
Tell people about it.
Yeah, so the OT, it's the brainchild of Mo. It's just like our play some video games overtime. It's like we realize that when we do the podcast, we don't have anything where you get to know the guys a little bit better. Or just get to know like anything about them, just like weird stuff. So it's not a games podcast. It's a like you're not gonna be prepared. We're gonna come up with some questions and everybody's gonna be put on the spot and you just get to know the guys a little bit more. So it was the brainchild of him and he was like, I want somebody to co-pilot this with me. And me and him have a really good like rapport where we talk a lot of trash and it's never like a butthurt thing. Like neither one of us are take it like serious.
I hate
it's
that
just
term,
fun.
by the way. I hate that so much. It just like that's a trigger word for me for sure. I hear somebody go like, "Bleh."
Yeah.
Don't hurt my butt. I don't want you to hurt my butt.
Nobody wants that. Exactly. And that's
I
the
guess
thing.
I mean makes sense.
So yeah, he was like, I want to do this, so let's do it. And so it's been fun. And then I was like, you going to 300? He was like, I'm thinking about it. I was like, well, now we got to go.
Yeah, man.
So we're trying to work that out. And
because it's like
it's
the
just
week
been
before
a fun
E3,
time.
is it? Or something like
that? It is, yeah.
Just
it's the week before E3, yeah.
I usually take that week off. I usually take the week of E3. It's like my favorite. It's like Christmas. Like it's Christmas
absolutely.
is like my favorite. I take 2 weeks off and it's amazing. I generally can get away with taking some of that time off. I have like even more. Like it'll be the Stapletons out there as well, man.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is actually getting a little bit of momentum. And and the other thing too is it's cool that Married to the Games is like it is sort of like that starting point for so many of us of how we discovered them and podcasting and each other. And I know that in just doing this show, I've met so many people even outside of that sphere too. But the common thread is that we all want to get together. Like
exactly.
We all just want to meet and just hang out and play games, go to arcade or something like that, and just be together. And it's nice that this is a thing. A bunch of us were trying to figure out, is it a PAX thing? And I think Married to the Games might be it, man.
Yeah.
So when did Donnie come into the picture for you?
So Donnie, I'd always Married to the Games again.
Yep.
Like he was a big Nintendo guy, so I would just talk trash to him.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
And that's how me and him built that rapport. And we still, to this day, like we in our Discord chat, me and Donnie will go back and forth. But they call it like mom and dad fighting. We just go back and forth. But neither one of us are bothered by it. It's just like we're just talking trash, and it's fun.
I love that.
And so I remember he started playing some video games, and I was like, oh, it's a Nintendo thing, so I'll listen. But it's a Nintendo thing. I'm not really into the Nintendo thing, but I'm glad that he started out. That's awesome. And then I want to say late 2016, he had put a tweet out like, hey, we're looking to get more help on playing some video games. If anybody's interested in writing or podcasting or anything, hit me up. I was like, Donnie, I want in.
Yeah.
Like, I've been wanting to podcast forever. I was trying to get some other friends to do it. They just weren't really feeling what I was trying to do. So I was like, all right, whatever. You guys don't want to really do this the way it should be done. So let me go ahead and see what else is out there. And Donnie put that tweet out, and I was like, absolutely, sign me up. So that's how that got started. And just the rapport that I'd already built with Donnie, it just worked out. And the rest of the guys, it just all kind of just came together, and it's been a blast. It's
one of the most like natural things I think I've ever seen to the degree that you guys operate. I see people trying, but like I don't think I've ever seen anything just like come together, just like gravity pulled all you guys together, and now this is a thing. And maybe that's just a credit to you and especially to Donnie for like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. It's like the duck who's like on the water, but you don't see like the feet going crazy underneath. Like he's just working, but you don't really see it. It's just effortless. It looks effortless.
That's Donnie and Kevin, man.
Yeah,
the behind the scenes guys. They just make it work. They have done a good job of pulling together the guys that they pulled together, and like it's just a really really good, really fun group. Like we are in Discord chat all day long.
Well, I love that you guys took like this. You were on opposite ends, the Nintendo versus Sony, like just like like you should hate each other by all accounts and by everything the internet tells us. You should hate each other, and you should be like calling the SWAT team on each other or something. I don't know, some sort of violence. and you don't. Like I just love that about you guys, that you can take this passion. You identify that it's passion, not hatred and vitriol towards each other.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much is clear, and that's the thing that I want to have those guys on the show. You guys aren't allowed on the show until at least March, if you guys are listening. So this is Black History Month on We the GamerCast. So that's actually from Gabe too. I meant to do this last year, and the problem was that you just need to think this before the first week of February. we were like, I remember last year we were into February, recorded one episode. I'm like, God damn it. Like I can't go back now. So I'm glad you're on. And thank you for, I said the same to a few people that I was reaching out to. I'm like, I want to have like an all black cast on We the GamerCast. Am I allowed to say that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, why not? It's Black History Month, baby. Let's do it. It's all good.
What does it mean for you, man? Like, what is this a thing, or is it? I don't know. Like, what is?
You know, it's weird because we get to the Black History Month, and it's great to learn about all of the people over time who have done something, who are people of color, who are Black people. It's great to have that. It's cool. My daughter gets to see it. She gets to learn a little bit more about like her history in a way. So it's always fun. It's nice to see. We try to realize that Black History Month doesn't just have to be February. Like we've done stuff all the time. So it's one of those things where I kind of, it's like it's becoming tropey sometimes, but it's like, you know what, it's fine. Yeah. We need this. We need to be able to glorify Black history and just the different accomplishments that we've had over the years. So it's always a point of pride that it's February. So it's always great. We make jokes that it's the shortest month.
I know. I like.
But it's like, whatever. Really... at least we got one.
So is there? This is maybe clarify for. Is it a Martin Luther King thing? Like, why February?
I have no idea.
Okay, then I feel way better. I'm gonna say this, and I'm feeling really stupid for asking.
I have no idea why it was February. I cannot tell you. I've never looked that up. I've never looked into why did they pick February again. I've never actually thought about that. I was just like happy that we got a month.
Well, and I was gonna say it's a double-edged sword in that, like, like it's great that it's a time to celebrate, and then these types of things are always really important. But then, like every day should be, or every month should be, we should be celebrating. But it's nice to have the moment, I guess. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we should, it's like anything, you should just always be appreciative for everything in our lives, and maybe it takes like just a little bit of focus to launch into that. Yep. So I'm glad that you guys, and there's a few others who have already agreed to be on and are like all over this, so I'm pumped about it. I definitely wanted to, I don't even know what ends up being March. I was gonna have the guys from Flux Deposed on in February because there's going to be like a Fluxtuary kind of thing.
That's nice.
They may be hearing this for the first time, but like, you guys, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to get bumped to the white month of March.
Well, you know what? St. Patrick's Day is a day for drinking, so.
There you go. We can all just, and that's Battle the Beers, dude.
Exactly.
That's really nice, man. I always end with like well, you kind of talked about like you don't even want to buy any new games. You're just working on backlog. But is there anything that like might break that trend for you in 2018, man? Like,
it already happened. It already happened. I bought Monster Hunter World, so.
Oh, this game keeps coming back into my life, man. I can't ignore it.
Yeah, I saw your tweet and I was like, I'm having the same problem.
Oh, so you ended up getting it?
Yeah, I ended up buying it. I bought it yesterday. My Destiny clan, a lot of them are playing Monster Hunter, so it was like, well. Me and one of my coworkers, Steve, we went to GameStop the other day, like yesterday. We was like, all right, let's just go do this. So we went and bought some digital currency, and then we both bought Monster Hunter. So now we have.
For people listening, you kind of like hung your head in shame a little bit. Like, let's go do this. Like,
because I didn't want to buy another game because I have so many.
And the problem is you got it on PlayStation. I don't want to support this. Like, okay, I need to be able to change my damn name. The enough is enough. I don't have.
Yeah.
I have so many problems with play. I can't believe I've left this to the end.
But your name is so awesome.
It's so stupid. It's so awful. And it's not even like, and it really isn't the worst name. It really is like getting up to be a bit of a point of principle for me. Yeah. That I can't change it. And also that the only place to plug in a hard drive is in the front. I had to perform surgery on that thing so I could have more than 4 games on it. I'm really pissed at the PlayStation. And my online is no good. I get bad speeds on my online.
Which system do you have? You have the original, like OG?
I have the Destiny. I'm very sorry, Devin. I have the white one.
Oh, I mean, I have the white Destiny PS4 Pro also. Okay. So
that's a sick looking system, though.
The original one that actually has like some actual art on it, yes. Mm-hmm. The one that the PS4 Pro is literally just a white system. I'm like, you couldn't put any kind of decal on there. You couldn't.
They might be the worst at custom designs there.
The Monster Hunter one looks awesome.
Is it nice? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, the Monster Hunter one is pretty dope.
Okay.
But yeah, you can plug a hard drive in into the front.
In the front, that doesn't look good. You got like the cables hanging out.
Just gotta run the wires back. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is the Pro actually has a USB port at the back, and that's where I plug my external into.
And that's the thing where I'm like, I'm in the position where if this thing actually dies, like it's on its way out. The HDMI kind of like cuts out, and so I have a lot of problems with it. I don't have good online. I've had to go in and actually put a piece of tape over the part of the circuit board that connects when you hit eject, because it was just ejecting all the time, like something shifted in there. So if I want to take out a disc, I actually have to go into the OS and say like remove disk and stuff. Luckily, I'm mostly like digital now, but like that's the place that I'm at with PlayStation. So it's not completely just like out of nowhere hate for this system. It's not even really hate. But I didn't want to get Monster Hunter on. That's where all this started. I didn't want to, but everybody I know is playing on freaking PlayStation.
Really? I mean, you have an X and it looks better on the X. So
that's the thing. I'm so conflicted. Maybe I'll just like be in this decision paralysis for the next couple weeks until something else comes out and we can all just forget about it. But for now,
what's coming out though?
I don't know. February doesn't look. Faye is February, I think. I'm sure there's a few things. Anyway, I was about to pop it up, and instead I just put a screen over your face. That's on the wrong side. Man, thank you so much for this. I have had an absolute blast chatting with you. Can you tell everybody where to find you on the internet and anything else you want them to know? Remind about the podcast and everything like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I was hyped to come on here, so thank you. But yeah, you can find me at Devin Tyus on Twitter. That's the best place to find me. I'm always on there. Talk some trash. I start a conversation. You can hear me on PSVG the OT. That usually drops on Tuesdays, or if you want to watch the video version, it goes up on Saturday night at 9:30 Pacific time, which is pretty late for some other people on the other coast we don't talk about. You can also hear me on PSVG Unrated. It's a show with me and Lobo Rican, where we just talk about anything that's bothering us, or it's unrated. And that one drops usually on Saturdays, but we also do a live version as well, so you can find that on our YouTube channel, play some video games. And
it all comes out of the same feed, right?
Yep, all in the same feed. You subscribe to play some video games on iTunes or Podbean or wherever you listen, and it's just a constant feed. We have a different show just about every day.
You guys are nuts.
That is so much content. It's funny because it worked out better for us, because it was so hard to coordinate trying to get time for everybody to be on the original just PSVG show, that it just made it so much easier to just say, you know what, we have enough people to where we can just do different shows every day.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what happened. We have Bored with Video Games with Josh and Kyle. We have Early Morning Gamer with Seth. We've got the Nintendo Shack with usually Jason and Donnie. And then you've got the regular PSVG show on Thursdays. And then you've got, OT, you've got Unrated. There probably will be more. We have shows. So, every day you got something, you got a new feed for your ears.
I'm so glad too, because I wanted to hear you. Like, and I go like, and this is the classic thing. I think I do this every single. We're gonna have to put like this as like a segment. Like, we're gonna have to give a sponsor, or I don't even know, the Todd Oxtra slam against others to compliment one person. I was always looking forward to hearing you on the show, and I'd be like, oh no, Devin's not on the show, and like, okay, I gotta listen. It's good. And this is like, I'm like totally being mean to people who would be on the show, but I'm trying to compliment you. I hope that they take it in the spirit in which this is intended. Devin, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. You are a scholar and a gentleman. I am so lucky to know you and now have you on the show. I hope people can reach out to you. And would you guest on other shows? Like,
absolutely.
People
absolutely
get Devin on your freaking shows, man. This is awesome.
Hit me up. I'm willing to go on whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm down. And we got to get you on the OT and Unrated too, man.
I'm here. Let's do it. I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a blast.
Week 1, Black History Month is in the books. We're gonna keep it moving and grooving, just like that song in the intro is from Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Sexy Trunks, from ocremix.org. Thank you, Devin, at Devin Tyus. Everybody, please go thank him for being on the show. Tell him you enjoyed the chat if you did. If not, then mosey along your day, I guess. Guys, I recorded the intro And then I went upstairs to just see what was happening. And for people watching the video, I have this remote, and it keeps resetting. This is the remote that controls like the main floor. Everything's programmed in there, and it's like, hey, would you like to learn how to use your remote? And I said, okay, I already know, so yeah, I'll go through this tutorial again. Then it allows me to try and turn on my TV, and then it just reboots and starts the whole thing all over again. I cannot tell you how much this frustrates me. I can't let this kind of crap get to me, but holy, it's brand new! It's brand new! Golly! Thank you guys for listening and subscribing on iTunes and Google Play and YouTube.com/WeTheNerdy. Share and leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Remember, I am Sean Capri on Twitter. Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. Follow me. Follow the site We The Nerdy. Follow the show We The GamerCast. Also, there's a game. Tacoma is in the show notes this week, guys. Tacoma on Steam. Go to the show notes. Whoever gets it first, it's yours. Thank you for listening. It's my gift to you, dear stranger on the internet. Thank you. Remember, you can support us at patreon.com/makeusbetter. And what else? That's kind of it. I mean, like, really, I needed you to know that this controller is pissing me off and that there's a free game. Otherwise, you should also know that the video is produced by Gary Gray. I'm sorry, good lord. The video is produced by Antonio Guillen. Our artists are Gary Gray and Adam Leonard, and this is powered by the Dayspace Network, where you can also find the Xbox Drive. I love doing that show. We recorded a day late, but I know you guys are okay with that. Also, I do the Gaming Gurus with Bobby himself and Toby Thornton. This week we get a little heated because I am pissed that the Switch doesn't have cloud save, so you guys should see how that all plays out. Otherwise, this is episode 128 of We The GamerCast. It's now in your ears and your eyeballs. I'll be back next week to continue Black History Month. I hope you're there too. Now it's time for Jason! Jason! Where the F is Jason? Jason, where are you? I'm gonna hit X to find you, Jason. And Sean.
Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Sean, where are you? Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Jason! 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 Jason!